clear, but there is a lot of disturbance.
Now?
It's clear, fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Hope everyone joined, right?
Ravina has to confirm.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Praveen, it seems 40 participants has to be joined.
Still 10 has to join, Jagdish. I'll check on them.
Okay.
Eight more to go.
Yes.
Jagdish, you go ahead. 6 more to add. I'll just check them.
Okay. Hi everyone. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good
morning.
Good morning, sir.
sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Today
sir.
workshop is regarding how to begin the Zerocode from the beginning. Hope everyone is doing tasks in Zerocode on the live projects, but always you are starting in the middle of the project, right? Today we'll demonstrate a small CUD operation and a small requirement from the beginning. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Pravina, can you please enable the screen share option?
Yes.
Maheshwari,
Yes, sir.
I'm sharing the links, the workshop links, the new client links.
Okay, sir.
You please start it. I will guide you how to proceed. Okay.
Okay, sir.
The beginning steps I will guide. Whenever the implementation come to the picture regarding the CUD operation, you take the control and you do it from there.
Okay, sir.
Jagdish, can you?
Yes, ma'am. Maheshwari will share her screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maheshwari, hope you received the workshop credentials, and team
Yes,
will
sir.
provide the same links to everyone, so that whenever we conducted the workshops, we will implement the same thing here. And please don't do anything in this client. Please just use this for your reference purpose.
Okay, sir.
We're planning
Can I
to
share?
add all the possible functionalities. Sure. Once the workshop is completed, we'll share the links. Okay, whenever you receive a new client, first we need to create some implementation users and we need to do the basic setup of the client.
Yes, sir.
Okay, once you logged into the client admin application for the first time, you need to create implementation users for yourself if you get the admin credential. Dev users, the second tab. Yes. Maheshwari, create a gender. Okay, create a generic user.
Generic.
Workshop demo.
Sure.
Team, many of the features I think you already know, but please listen for one more time. Give the same password, workshop at 2022.
Okay.
Okay.
User is limited.
Once the develop, no. Wait a minute.
Hmm.
I think we can edit the settings from here, right?
This one, sir, or this one?
Yes. Settings.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Hope everyone knows about this page, but few of the experience implementation and the freshers don't know about this. This is the page where we can edit the settings. If you want to add the logo, you need to upload the logo here, the application logo. And if you want to add any favicon icon, you need to upload from here. And UI team, I think this is for you. It seems you guys are using the logo on the favicon from the themes path, the CDN. Yes.
Yes, sir. I think they are using.
The problem is whenever you are using the logo from the CDN path, whenever we are giving a new code or new client code, the logos and the images, whatever you are using from the CDN path are not coming. We need to address that. Otherwise, you need to upload logo here and we need to use this. Okay, just please make a note so that if it is possible, use it from here, or please check for the other solutions. But if there is no solution, we'll use from the CDN path itself. Okay.
Okay.
And we have a registration button in the landing page of the application. The Google sign in. We have a setting in the admin. If you want auto sign up, I
Yes.
think by default that the auto sign up is yes. If you don't want it, you need to disable it.
Google setting.
No, I think
Mm.
It is in login policy.
login policy.
This one. Register save
The
API.
fourth one, the fourth auto.
Yes. If you don't want to register, auto register from the Google sign in, you need to disable this.
Okay. Set as here.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
And team, please go through these settings. If you have any doubts, you can ask me or your seniors so that they will explain you in detail.
Okay,
For
sir.
every setting, there is a specific meaning. If you don't want the CAPTCHA on your login page, you need to disable from here,
Yes.
from these settings. And if you want to change the password policy, how many characters has to be there like that, you need to edit from here.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Plan.
And you have page default, like what is the default date format? That thing you need to edit from here. And for Google settings, if you are using Google sign up, you need to add the OAuth API key and secret here. Then only the Google authentication will work.
Okay.
Okay. Please remember, if you are unable to do some setting, you please contact your senior. Why? Because we have many settings. Don't feel that is a bug.
Okay, sir.
Okay. This is all about settings. And Mahesh, can you log into the user application now? And you please log in with your implementation user.
Okay, sir.
Mahesh, did Mahesh send a mail to you?
Yes, sir.
Can you copy that requirement in a notepad and open that and do whatever it is there in that requirement?
Okay, sir. Actually, this
Okay.
is the requirement.
Yes. Guys, today we will try to do this simple requirement. What we need to do was we need to create category data set with just one field name, and we need to create a request data set with name, request ID, category, request, who is the owner of the request, and who is the responded user of that request, and what is the response for that request. And following are the requirement flow.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Maheshwari, as you already log in the user application, please create the roles, whatever it is mentioned.
Okay, sir.
I have taken the software, the IT industry organization structure, so that everyone will be aware. I think everyone can easily understand what it is.
Role CTO, PM. CTO reports to CEO, sir. User
Yes.
hierarchy.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. PM. Developer. Yes, sir. Roles roster.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And can you please create one user so that someone from the team can assist you for the test user creation part? Meanwhile, we can go ahead and create the other parts. Create one user.
Okay, sir.
We need hierarchy to test this, right?
Yes, sir. Yes. Can I use this name, sir?
No. Use the CEO.
Okay. Mail IDs, do we need to
CEO
send?
at zerocode.com.
Okay.
Zerocode.e. Give 900 like that.
Okay.
90000 90001.
So same password, sir. This one.
Here it is not taking more than 12 characters. We need to short the password.
Okay.
Give
Can I
workshop at
give?
22. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So can I save it, sir?
Yes. Okay. Hemlata. Hello.
Yes. Sir. I'll share some-
Was she there?
Maybe. Maybe
Who
she
else
is
is
in
there?
mute. Sir.
Megal.
Yes, sir.
Megal. I think you know about the URL, right? You got the URL, right? Workshop.v35.dev.zerocode.de.
No, sir.
Yes. Sorry.
I didn't got the URL, sir.
No. You can easily type it, right?
Yes, sir.
And the username is admin and the password is workshop at 2022. W is the capital.
Okay, sir.
Log in there and create the test users.
Okay, sir. So similar to CEO roles.
Yes.
Okay,
You
sir.
need to create one CTO, 2 PMs.
Okay, sir.
Under 1 PM, create 2 team leads. Under the second PM, create only 1 team lead.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Meanwhile, Megal will create the users.
Okay, sir.
And now, Maheshwari, please create the data set.
Okay, these two results. Category.
Yes. First, we'll create the category, then we'll create the next one.
Request management. Okay. Sir.
Okay. And before coming to the category, uh, creating the data set, we need to create the task whenever you are developing something in the
Developing.
application.
Yes, sir.
And everyone, please don't create it with your names. Please create a generic task or create the opt task. If you are doing user management, create a task like user management. Or if you are doing a complaint management, create a task like complaint management. And whenever you are doing Any functionality related to the complaint management, tag that task.
So start from
Complaint
starting.
management. So it's a request management, right?
Yes, sir.
Jagdish,
No,
what
no,
is a
no.
milestone?
Milestone is like the phase one, when it has to be completed. This
Okay.
is for project management purpose, but no, Maheshwari, task
Yes,
is
sir.
not the request management. Milestone is like phase one, phase two, phase three.
Yes, sir. So can I?
Remove the dates
Yes. Okay.
and the name is phase one. If there are multiple phases in your project, in phase one, you will develop 2 modules. In phase two, you will be developing the next 2 modules.
Okay. So this one Roman numbers I gave, sir. This is okay.
Anything is fine.
Oh. So now user story.
Yes.
So request management, sir. Can I give?
Yes, you can give request management. The whole request management contains 2 tasks. One is category creation. The other one is request creation, request management and category management. So the tasks are 2 in this user story.
No.
The thing was, this will help in the release management. Whenever you are releasing after go live, if you are releasing phase wise, this will, the thing whatever we are doing will help us in release management.
Okay. Sir. Can I create?
Yes, yes.
So can I create the separate or one is enough, sir?
No,
Request
2 tasks. Category
category.
management or category, you can give any name.
Okay. Priority will.
It's based on its priority, we need to give the priority.
Okay. Can I create it?
Yes.
Request management. Is this okay, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now task is generated. Can I create now
Yes.
data set, sir?
Yes. And team, whenever you are creating a data set, task is not mandatory. The thing was, whenever you are using this data set in an API or a page, if you are releasing that APIs or pages, the data set related to will be released. But if you want to release only the data sets, you need to tag the task here as well. Team, if anyone have doubts, you can ask me in the middle as well, or you can ask me at the end. But if you have doubts, please make a note.
So this one, sir.
Okay. And I think many of the folks observed a new field came up in the dataset creation. It's like the type of the dataset, which is fixed, variable, and transactional. Fixed means you won't change the data at all.
Okay.
Okay, like all the masters will come into the fixed dataset type.
Okay.
Variable means 99, or I can say it won't change very frequently,
Okay.
like user.
Okay.
Those tables will come in variable.
Okay, sir.
Transactional means request. In our case, category is a fixed data set, request is a transactional data set. Why? Because data into the table will be created and updated very frequently. Whenever someone creates, the user onboarding is very rare, right? That's why it is a variable.
Okay.
These will help us in preparing the cleanup scripts for the client. We won't clean fixed data sets at all. We need to take a call for clearing the variables. But if someone asks us to clear the DB, we clean the transactional database.
Okay, sir.
Hope you guys are asking us to clear the Jagrut India client or some clients, right? We are using these types and we are cleaning the data.
Okay, sir.
If you mark this, it will help us in preparing the cleanup script.
Okay.
Like this, masters, you can call it as a fixed.
Yes. No. That's the reason. Previously, we use the term master prefix. Now, no need.
Okay. So now we can, if it's a master data set, we can set as a fixed type. Here.
Yes.
Okay. The tickets are transactional. Yeah?
Transactional. Why? Because every day some ticket will be created and every day someone will update something on the tickets data set, right?
Variable, we say.
User kind of things. Users will be added very rare.
Okay.
Occasionally.
If you ask us to clear the DB, we won't clean fixed. That is for sure. Why? Because those are masters.
Okay.
But we need to think, we need to clear the variable data sets or not.
Okay.
But transactional clearing means we need to clean the transactional DB. Okay.
So someone asking something.
Sorry, someone asking something.
Check your internet connection. He's audible to all of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
can I
Okay.
continue, sir?
Yes, please, ma'am.
So
Okay,
in the
and hope
requirement,
everyone knows whenever you created a data set, it will create the predefined fields, okay, that you can delete.
yes, sir.
Yeah,
Guys,
you can rejoin 1 minute, Jagadish.
Okay.
Anyone, anytime, in case you feel that you have some query, please post the question, okay? This is done for the convenience of all of you. Okay? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you guys have to unmute and talk. And in case if it's faster, you can also stop and check. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, and in case you have some doubts in the functionality or other conditions, please check now itself.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, Maheshwari, you please go ahead and create the field now.
Okay, sir.
And same thing for task. Task is not mandatory in field level as well. Whatever the fields you are using in page level and API, not in the page level, API level, if you release that API, the fields related to it will be automatically released. If you want to release only this particular field, you need to mention the task.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And please give the size as well for the fields. If you are creating a phone number field, give 20 as a size.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever the max size of the field, this will help in the memory management of the database.
Okay.
If you give 255, it will work, but this is good practice. If you do this, it's very nice to us. And regarding the field names, we are supporting up to 40 characters. If the field name is not beyond 20 characters, you can give the full name. If it is going beyond, then you can shorten. Don't please shorten every name.
Sir, if we have any relations, then sir?
Anyway, for any field, the size of the code is maximum 40.
Okay.
Okay.
Like
If you feel the
take
code is going beyond 20, then try to shorten. You can shorten the names like management, MGMT, request, RUQ,
Yes, sir.
agriculture, AGRI.
Okay.
Don't shorten every word.
Okay.
Okay. That too, even if it is agriculture, it's not beyond 20, right? Keep the field as agriculture itself.
Okay, sir.
And give the size. Okay. Max size of the text field is 255. Okay. If you are creating the field for phone number, use 20. Even 20 is a big, because if someone using spaces and formats, it will be feasible. And please create text field for phone number. Don't create number field.
Okay, sir.
And if it required, please provide the description for that field as well. Why?
Okay.
Because some clients will ask us the DB data dictionary. At the time, we need to provide the table names and fields and its descriptions to them. It is very hard to write this after completion of the project. Why? Because even we itself won't remember why we create that field.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
And create indexes for the fields wherever the field, if it requires in search.
Means, sir?
If you are searching on that field, we need to create the index on that field so that it will search fast.
Okay.
If you are searching based on the category, create the index.
Okay.
And don't create all fields with the indexes. For example, there is a lead table. There may be 20 columns in the table, but among the 20 columns, only 4 columns you are going to search.
Yes, sir.
Create index on only those 4 columns.
Okay. If we didn't give also, if we send request means it will come, no, sir?
It will search, but you can't observe that there will be some delay in the search results.
Okay.
Why? Because we are developing, right? At that time, the database will be very less.
For sort also it will be taken, sir?
Yes,
First and
yes.
first, both.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So based on this index, it will come, fast results will come.
So it will improve some performance in the backend.
Okay.
It will create an index in the database side.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
And description as well. Please create some description for the fields.
Okay.
Not for all, not for name, phone and all. But if you feel some description is needed for that field, please provide.
Okay, sir.
Example, In Jagrut India, I have field called points.
Yes, sir.
What is that points?
Okay, that
can
total
describe it.
points. Okay.
You can describe that field, right?
Yes, sir.
So that if someone is looking into the DB and at that field, they will know what is that field.
Hmm. Okay, sir.
Okay, go ahead. I think you guys are following some more best practices. You guys are giving only singular names for the database tables. Please follow that. That is a good practice.
Okay, sir.
I think everyone have this guideline, right? Hope I have seen in some other meeting. I have
Yes, sir.
seen in some other meeting. You guys are following singular names for the database tables as well as fields.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please follow that. That is the best practice.
Okay, sir.
And you guys are following code and status for masters. You please follow that as well. That's also best practice.
Okay. As per this, we no need, sir.
No, you please follow that. I did created that. Whatever the best practice you are following, you please follow that. And one more suggestion for masters, please create order as well.
Okay, sir.
It will come in alphabetical order itself, right? But some clients ask us to show the drop down values in their own preferred order.
Yes, sir.
Please include this field in your masters. Whenever you are working on the masters, please work like this.
Okay, sir. Code.
Madam, the same thing.
Sir.
Whenever you are having a code, don't allow more than 40 characters.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Name we can give. Name is a label. With these codes, we will be writing some conditions, right?
Yes, sir.
If it is big, it will be hard to us to write the conditions in the page or in the backend.
Okay, sir. So on the status.
And hope everyone knows about what is pick list and how to use it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can submit.
Okay.
Order,
So
number field.
number.
Meghal, what is a big list?
Hello, ma'am.
What is a big list, Meghal?
Picklist is also a type of master, ma'am, but which has fewer data. Like we use picklist when we have like distinct only few values which we think are fixed and which will not be changed. But for data, like we have like more than 10 or 20 of fields which can be changed. Further, we'll use master pages, ma'am.
Jagdish, would you like to add anything for that?
No. Guys, actually, if you have a single field master, use pick list. We are creating category master for our understanding purpose to implement the CUD operation. But if you have a single field pick list, single field master, use pick list.
Okay, sir.
And if you have any dependencies, use tables.
Even though if it is a single.
Yes. Mahesh, am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If we have any dependencies,
This is
then
the thing. When to choose pick list and when to choose master. Country is a single field master, but we won't add in pick list. Why? Because country is dependent for the region or state.
Yes, sir.
So that's why we created as a master data set.
Okay, sir.
And Maheshwari, one more thing.
Yes,
Go there.
sir.
Go to the data set. And I think, hope you guys are observing there is an up arrow in the end. Okay. It is for upgrading text field to text area.
Okay.
But you can't downgrade it. Why? Because data will be lost.
Mhm. Okay, okay.
Okay, sir.
But if by mistake you created a text field but you need a big description in that field, you can upgrade to text area.
Mhm. Okay.
Same thing, if you create a number, but if you want to store fractional fields on it, you can upgrade to fraction.
Mhm. Okay.
I think all these options are there in Zerocode, but I think many of the folks don't know about this. That's why I am giving brief one more time.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
And whenever you delete a field, it won't delete. It will be soft deleted and it will be in the bottom. If you delete from there, it will be permanently deleted, which means the data also will be deleted.
Yes, sir.
If you are deleting hard, you need to be more cautious.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Can I create another data set, sir?
No, only we'll do first for the one data set.
Okay.
Next, we'll go ahead for the other.
Okay. So for this, can I create API, sir?
Yes. One minute. And hope
Yes, sir.
everyone knows we have 4 types of data sets. The
API.
API types: select, list, save, update, and delete.
Yes, sir.
Method types: for save update, if you are using the API for only save purpose, use post.
Okay.
If you are using for update, use put. If you are using for both, use put.
Okay. If we are using single API for both, then you can use put.
Yes, for update or save and update, use put.
Okay.
If you are creating the API only for post, saving the data, use post.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
And you have a specific, okay, you create the API now.
Okay. So for this, I don't need.
Oh, save update, right? It's not just save the name.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And we have one more option called specific. Okay. You need to use specific if you are creating this API for any other purpose than the default save.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Example, if you are creating any data from multiple places.
Okay.
Okay. I can give example like leads, quick lead, and in some other places you need to create a full lead.
Hmm.
Full lead is the actual default save. Why? Because it's have all the fields, right?
Yes, sir.
Quick lead will have only 3-4 fields.
Hmm.
At that time, you need to mention it is a specific API. You are using that API for specific purpose. For quick save.
Yes, sir.
Team, hope everyone understand this specific.
Yes, sir.
For example, if you
Yes.
have 10 fields in the data sets, if your save is saving almost all fields, that is the default. You don't need to mention it as a specific. If you are saving only 2 fields, you need to specific it and the code will be carried. Here, it is not the specific API.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And hope everyone knows about access. At API level, if you are providing access means whenever someone directly consuming these APIs, this access will be applied. If you are using these APIs from the page access will be carried.
Okay, sir.
So you can always say the APIs are access based. Why? Because whatever the access you are giving to page, it will be carried. It will
Okay.
be secure your APIs if you give access based. Why? Because no one can directly call these APIs from any REST clients.
Sir.
If
With
I
our page, sorry,
okay. No, continue, sir. At the end, I
with
will
our page itself, these APIs will be accessible. And whatever the access we are providing to page, it will be validated.
Okay. Separately, we no need to configure for the specific roles. If we give like a access based.
No,
like
access
page.
based means if anyone directly calling this API from the
Mhm.
Postman or REST client,
Mhm.
whatever the access you are giving here, it will be carried, it will be validated.
Okay.
If you are calling that API directly from the Postman. Example, if mobile team using your APIs, this access will be validated there.
Okay.
If you mention this as an access based and if you use this API in the page level, whatever the access provided to the page, that will be validated, not this one.
Mhm. Okay.
Guys, if you don't understand any of the things, please make a note. We'll make one more session on only those particular topics.
Okay,
If you
sir.
want, I will give demo how that is working and where exactly it is validated.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
If you feel something is not understanding now, please make a note. We'll have one more session on that.
Even
What
post
I
it
am
on
trying,
the WhatsApp group.
yes,
Whoever has some doubt, please post on the WhatsApp group. All those queries will be addressed in the next training.
yes, what I'm trying to present here was all these features are there in Zerocode.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
At least if you listen now, whenever you are implementing, if you don't know, you can come to us and you can ask. You
Yes,
want
sir.
this kind of feature? We will explain you. This is how it will work.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So can I say it, sir?
Yes, yes, please.
So predefined fields will not come here in the save update.
And here as well, update ignore. How many of you know about update ignore?
While update, you can ignore. If we check
No,
this
no, files while save it will consider, and while update it will be ignored.
yes, sir. While update, that fields will be ignored.
Ignore. Generally, we use these fields for password or no, sequence.
Yes, sir.
Request ID, if you are using same API for save and update, for request ID, we'll use update ignore.
Okay. So when I go for the messages, sir?
Yes. And if you don't mention any message, it will create it will show up a generic message saved successfully and updated successfully. If you mention any message here, it will give you whatever the message you are giving here.
Okay. Category created or category saved successfully, sir? New category created or
Category saved successfully, just that is fine. Updated here.
yes.
Updated, madam, updates now.
What is it?
Was it done?
There is nothing like purchases and all those things. Only message. And this field also will give from the front end side.
Yes.
This status field also I will give there itself. sir. Do we
While
need
create
to?
the status is active. Okay, that is also fine. No issues.
Yes, sir.
Was the API done?
Yes, sir.
No. Still, unique validation is pending.
Okay, for the name and code.
I think code is enough because if you're taking code is enough.
But front end we will show only name, right, sir?
Then give the validation both for both, unique validation for both. Team, if you are doing a kata operations, all these are must.
Okay, sir.
Especially for masters. Many of the people are missing the unique validation.
This will be enough, sir.
This.
Name already exists.
But try to give appropriate names, and whenever you are if it is if there is a spelling mistake, please take Google help and correct it while doing it, sir. I think this is also giving the error, right? If you type any incorrect spelling.
Yes, sir. It will give.
Yes.
So name should be unique. And again. Sorry. Here I'm not giving any execution conditions because I need to check an update and creation.
Yes.
Ishwari, in that case, please remove that expression from type. Otherwise, the unit check won't work.
It won't?
When the type is given as expression and there is no value, the unit check is not working.
Okay. Thanks.
Can someone please make a note of this so that if someone is doing this for the next time, they will also remove that.
Okay, sir.
No, because if someone is new, they don't know, they need to remove that, right?
And also for order field, we need to validate, sir.
Which validation we need to remove?
This one, like one already exists means again.
No. We can give one for 2 times. It will take the alphabet order.
Okay. Okay, sir. So is this okay? Name validation and code validation. Good.
Yes. Can you do the code name validation once?
Okay.
Okay.
Can I create list API, sir?
Yes, you already saved that, right?
Yes, sir. Can I show it again?
Yes. Yes, anyone have any doubts in this API creation? Whatever the options we use, if you have any doubts in the options we have used, you can ask. Okay, ma'am.
No, okay, sir.
If you are using list, you need to choose get. And if you feel your search parameters are more, use post at in that scenario.
Okay, if it is a more, then only we need to use post. Why,
Yes,
sir?
if your search parameters are more. Why?
Okay.
Because there is a specification. You can't use more than 2048 characters in the URL.
Okay.
You are using get means if you use all the such parameters, the length of the URL will be increased
Yes, sir.
with your parameters.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
If there are more, then only you need to use post. If there are less, use get.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
But for most of the cases, use get. If it is required, then only use post.
Okay. And it is not catchable, right, sir?
This is a master,
This
right? We can
master,
use
right? Yes.
catchable. I think hope everyone knows about catchable. Catchable will catch the results to Redis and it won't read the data from the DB. And whenever you update the data into this table or insert a data into this table, cache will be refreshed.
I think probably new people don't know about this one. Sir.
Is it okay to use cacheable for the main list API, sir, or list for like the API we use for dropdowns? Is that we need to use cacheable?
Sorry?
Is it okay to use cacheable option for main list API of the master page, sir, or shall we use only for the list API that we give for drop-down values?
Main list means
Main list means this list API will be attached to the category list page, right, sir? Master page.
yes. Good question,
That is-
Anagar. Good question. For grid, don't use catchable. If you are using this API for grid, don't use catchable. Why? Because catchable won't support pagination.
Okay.
sir.
That is the thumb rule.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
If you are using get, it will support.
Okay. Sir, and we have that like scenario one thing. There is no change in that API list for select. We will create a separate API for drop down. Like they consider this category list.
No. If it is get, you can use catchable for both.
Okay. If it is a post only.
If it is post, you need to create two APIs. One is for drop down. Even if it is post, you please don't use catchable.
Okay, sir.
Why? Because it will catch the URL and it will store the results of that URL.
Okay.
Okay. In this case, use catchable.
Okay. Sir. Okay, one more thing, sir. I have out.
Yes.
So if I kept like a catchable true, then I need to get one more detail. Like I have selected only name field, and still I need code also. can I come this API and check that value? Will that come?
No.
So again, I need to update the data set.
Update some value of the data.
I mean, in that data set, that at least one value should
At
be
least you need
updated.
to update some value in the data set.
Okay.
This is also a valid point. Please remember. I think I think Maheshwari faces this issue. I think that's why she's
Yes, sir.
asking.
Yes, sir.
What she's asking was, if you selected some fields and you mark it as catchable, and if you want some more fields in it, if you select, even if you select in the API, it won't affect in the front end, in the user side. You need to update at least one data without any change in the data set, then only it will reflect.
Okay,
I think
sir.
all the freshers might not understood whatever we are discussing now, but at least Prashanti, Meghal, Hemalata, and Maheshwari can understand.
Yes,
Mahesh,
sir.
I think you also
Yes, sir.
understand,
Yes,
right?
sir.
You got it right, what Maheshwari is pointing.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Can I create it, sir?
save and continue.
Okay, sir.
Here also same access based.
Okay, sir. Specific and access based will consider for all APIs.
For APIs, please provide access based so that no one directly can call it.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Even if you forgot, whenever the thing was, we need to again sit and we need to do it manually from the back, not manually. We need to do it from the backend.
Okay. Okay, sir.
And here you have option for ignore from response. This is to shorten your response payload.
Yes, sir.
You need to select the fields if you are using those fields in the where condition.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
But if you don't want to send them to front end, you just need to select ignore from response. I think here we no need order.
In list based on that order, we don't need, or ignore from response, you are saying.
But in list, in drop down list, we don't need order. Why? Because anyway it will be sorted, right? But whenever you are editing, you need it.
Yes, sir.
If you are doing cut operation without the select API, you need
Then
it.
we need it. If select API is there, then we don't need this field.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Select the order as well.
Okay, sir. Without select API.
Yes, we'll do it without select API. All masters will do left side form and right side, left side grid and right side page.
Okay, sir.
For list API, we don't need any of this, right?
Sir?
For list API, we don't need this, right? Yes.
That's it, sir.
For
Global
global
filter.
filter, we need this.
Yes.
Explain it why you are selecting this. Some people might
I
not
want
know.
to search with name, code, and status in global filter in the end
If you
user
are
side.
providing global filter to the page grid, you need to select what are all the fields it needs to be searched. Okay.
Oh. Do we need to select this one also, sir? Multiple columns. But the combination we can search, right?
But in this case, there is no that scenario, right?
Yes, sir. We don't have that scenario in this case.
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to search in first name and last name as a combined field, you need to select that.
Select
That
both.
feature is also there. If any implementation scenario came for that, please ask your seniors.
That will be
Or
displayed
in the
like
coming
this.
sessions, we'll do one sample for that as well. And next, the sorting. Sorting, you can give from the front end page as well in the page builder. If you won't provide any sort from API as well, you can provide the default sort.
Okay. So, if I don't want any name or order based on order, how the list records is created, based on that sort I need means I need to select created IDs. I mean created time.
Yes.
Okay. So which one
And
should
we
I
don't want in the response.
response? So here based on name or else created time, sir. Which one should I prefer? Name is okay.
Name is okay for this.
Sir, I think you have mentioned the order of the field as well, sir, for searching, for sorting itself.
Yes, yes. I think Master, please use order field
Order.
for sorting.
Okay. Sir.
Yes. In many of the cases, we will use created time descending.
Yes, sir.
It will show the latest record on the top.
By default, it will show like latest record on the top.
And there is one more option on the top, go top. How many rows you want in this result? Max rows. Naresh, I think this is not working proper. Please work on it and fix it.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay. We don't need debug and right, sir.
Yes.
That's it,
1
sir.
minute.
Yes, sir.
1 minute. Okay.
Okay.
This is for?
Delete that, please. Sir.
Yes. And for delete API, we need to select the method type as delete. And this is also default API. That's why you don't need to specific it. If you are deleting it for specific purpose, use the specific option.
Okay, sir. Just a second. Okay. So instead of deleted successfully, can I give this message, sir? Category
Yes.
delete.
Yes. Yeah, this is based on the requirement. Please check with your QA whether they need specific messages or default messages. If they need specific messages, provide it here. Otherwise, this is also fine.
So can I give like category deleted successfully or a selected category deleted? Sir?
That's up to you. Why? Because there is no requirement here. You can give anything. But here what we are showcasing was whatever the message giving here, it will be shown when you deleted the category.
Okay, sir. So the APIs is generated. And we don't need select API because we need to show the site form. Right form, right or left form. Now can I create the page, sir?
This is done, right? The API, the data set creation and the API creation part is done. For this master CRUD operation, for creating the pages, you need to create the application now.
Yes. So theme will be Zerocode theme.
Yes.
Okay.
And here, wait a minute. If you have only one application, give the code as app. If you are having multiple applications, give the code as you required, but please short it. Try to give not code with not more than 4 characters.
Not more than 4 characters.
Try. That is not specific. Why? Because that will appear in the URL.
Okay. So can I give this as a RM set?
No, app. If you have
App,
only
app.
one, give app.
Okay.
If your project containing multiple applications, try to give short codes.
Okay, sir.
Because sometimes if you need to type the entire URL, it is hard to type. Not only for that, I think the URLs will be lengthy, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what. And hope everyone knows about icon field. Whatever the icon you are mentioning here, that will be displayed in the app selection. If you don't know which icon need to be selected, you please select one icon and inform UI guy or your lead. They will try to select the correct icon.
Which one? Or will be enough for management, sir?
Any icon is fine.
Okay. So now here for the
Category master.
application category
No,
master.
this is the application setup.
Okay.
Why? Because for anything you need this application, right?
Yes, sir.
If you are creating module, then you need to select the category management.
Okay, sir. And we no need this one, right, sir? It's already there.
And guys, please be more careful on this default application selection. Okay. For us, the base is the default application. Why? Because it has all the common pages. Okay. If you select this as a default application, you need to develop login page, everything in this application.
Yes,
Great.
now application is generated. I'm going to create a module. Category.
Yes. No.
So
You can include this in. Yes, this is a big question for all the guys who are creating the masters, the new project or the ongoing projects. All the masters will be managed by administrator only.
okay.
Okay. So these masters will go to the admin application. The request will go to your application. Please select administrator. Yes.
So
I think
already master is
yes,
there.
if we already have a master, include this page in that master itself. But if you need the user specific masters as a separate group, you can create a module and you can add the user specific masters in that group.
So now can I create that user masters or already existing master is enough, sir?
Application masters.
Application.
Applications masters are the one which we created based on the requirement. All other masters are came with the Zerocode bundle.
Okay, if client specifically asked for in that whatever he want the application, then only we need to create there. Otherwise, we can create here itself,
Yes.
like this.
And even if we can mix as well.
Mix in the sense.
You can add this page to masters module as well.
Okay.
If client feel there are multiple masters, we can add the application specific masters in masters module as well.
Okay, under that already inbuilt master itself, we can add the pages, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sir. Application.
In our foods, we created area master as a separate module, and we have added all the application specific masters there, and we created crop master as a separate module, and we are capturing all the masters there.
Location master is separate.
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Because there are 20-30 masters as there. If you add all masters in one menu, it will be very huge. Right? That's why we separated there. That is, we need to take a call and we need to decide.
Okay, based on the requirement.
Yes. Why? Because if you tag to one, I think you can't change it. Right? That need to be cautious when we are creating. Otherwise, it will be double the work.
Okay. And this code also should be less, right, sir?
Yes. Why? Because this will be shown in the URL.
App master is okay, sir, or else 4 codes try to be.
Specific masters, give the code as specific masters. Like, why? Because yes, you can give any name, but if you give app masters, the URL will be shown like app/app masters.
App hyphen. Okay. Specific
That's fine.
master.
That is fine.
And this sequence.
No. You need to do 10 like that. Why? Because you already have the masters.
But this
modules.
is a separate module, right, sir?
But that is in the administration itself, right?
Yes,
in
sir.
administration application, you already have few modules. If you give one, it will come in the first.
Okay. Okay, sir. So now the page. Is this okay, sir? Mask applicating.
Yes.
So this is the access page, and it should be in this menu. In this module, it should be in first one. Okay.
Okay. And if you want this only in web, select web. Only in mobile, select mobile. If it is in both, use both.
Okay. So for now, it should be both or only web, sir?
Both.
Okay. Okay. Menu access page. Okay.
Just from here, you take the control and do the implementation. And you explain what you are doing.
Okay. First try. Now I have just take a drag and drop for the layouts. Here actually left and the side forms is there, right? I will take 2 layouts. So in the first layout, I'll just drag and drop the data list.
And guys, please try to give proper ID names so that it will help you whenever you are giving reference in that page.
Okay, sir.
The IDs are auto-generated, but don't go with the same IDs. Madam, please explain the options as well. Please explain the options as well so that whatever the properties you are giving one, if you
Okay,
give the
sir.
property, what it will happen in the front end.
Okay, sir. Here this list ID, sir already said it will be auto generated, but if you give any specific names, then when we need any conditions, so that time we can identify in console where sometimes we need to write it, codes like based on this requirement, and that should be pre-fill like that. It is there. That time it will be useful this ID, and also please don't give spaces for this.
Yes,
IDs.
that is very important thing. Please don't give spaces.
Spaces or any underscores.
It will
Please
end up
don't give
with
error. It
no.
won't
It will
work.
end up killing your time. I think underscores can be allowed. Mohan, you please suggest Mohan from here.
Yeah, underscore allowed, Jaga.
I told everybody clearly that we should communicate.
Hello.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Not understanding.
But don't give the spaces, please.
Yes, underscores are allowed, but don't give hyphens and spaces and any special characters. Always starts with alphabet and you can give numbers, but again don't start with number as well.
Okay, sir.
So here, if you want to change, like if you don't have any data that time, it will display like no records found. So if you want to specify that no categories are available, you can specify. If you want to say that if you don't have any records, then that time that placeholder should be also based on client requirement, then you can inform. So this is useful for that. And here I'm going to attach the list API. And in that list API, I have mentioned that as a get. And I don't need to pass any parameters for that list API because I don't
And
have
guys,
any.
if you select the method as
Get
different, it will give method not supported.
error, it will
Whenever you
display.
implementing, if you get method not supported, which means that you given the wrong method in this place. You need to correct here or you need to correct in the API. Wherever is
Based
appropriate,
on,
you need to correct it.
So in this, I don't need any on success also. On, like if you have any requirement, like after loading this list only, we need to display below forms or list grids, anything. For that purpose, you can write here anything. If you want to reload any component, or if you want to in non-success of that particular list API, then you need to call another API. In that case, you can right here. And if you want to redirect of that any page based on your thing, so based on our requirement, if it is not possible, if you don't have any these type of options, then you can simply write the script also, whatever the action perform need to happen. So we can use for this on success for that purpose. Occasionally we'll use this one based on the requirement. So I don't need to send any
Remember,
extra.
you will use on success very occasionally, but there is a future on success of grid. You can load some other parts as well.
After loading of this list grid only, if you want to load any another graphs or any kind of another list grid also need to be loaded like that means, then you can use it here. You can add many on successes, not only single. You can add many, so it can be performed. So after that, please remember this, we need to mention.
Master, we need to mention this for every grid.
Yes, sir. By default, it won't select. Sir.
Okay.
For every gate means, if they want any pagination means, by default we need to give this one, sir. Otherwise, it will be like refresh and this one. We don't
Okay.
know that total and
If you
how many
want to
pages
show
we
the
have.
page information, how many
How many
pages are
pages?
there and how many records are there, you need to give this option.
If
Okay.
you don't want this pagination, then you can click here like a auto scroll.
That will be infinite. Whenever you scroll, the additional data will be loaded.
Additional data will be loaded. There will be a load mode option will be there. After the this size, then you will get that option. Then if you click on that load mode, remaining data will be loaded.
Generally, people use this for mobiles.
Yes. If you want in web also, if they ask it, if client asks it like that, then only we'll prefer this one for web. So filters here, if you want column and global filter. Advanced means global filter. If you want both means, then you need to select. If you want only column filter, then you need to select only column. If you want only advanced, then you need to select advanced. So here I want both. In the positions also you can say that where. So here the submission mode is all or individual. After entering of that one, then you need to enter that search, then it will be selected as a all. Individual in the sense, if you enter the character, then the list API will be called for each and every enter, or else each and every character, that list API will be called if you select as an individual. So for global filter, it won't be used for that. Please select like all, because it will hit that API all the time whenever you are entering the characters. So search button. I want the search button to for the global filter. I just selected as a bottom. Bottom, if I selected as a bottom means next to that particular text box, it will come search button like this. If you want any reset, then add here label. Otherwise, if you don't want any reset, then you can you no need to add, just simply leave it.
Which is for filter reset.
Yes, sir. Filter reset. This for this text box. If you click on reset means, so that filters will be reset.
Okay. Please give reset as a clear.
Yes, sir. We don't need any row selections, and we already.
Please select the columns and AP.
Okay.
What is this lazy and responsive and all?
Lazy load, sir. Whenever that API, this explanation, I don't have that much property, sir.
Okay.
The data, I think the data will be load at the time. Sorry, I don't remember this one. Actually, my sir explained, but I forgot my mistake.
Okay. Folks, can we take 5 minutes break or shall we continue?
Okay, sir.
Let's take a break for 5 minutes.
Can I stop the screen share, sir, or pause
Yes,
it?
yes, please. You can pass.
Ravina, you can pause the recording.
Yes, yes, I will.
Meanwhile, if everyone joined, we can start. Or otherwise, if you have any doubts,
Sir,
yes, please.
sir, can you say that lazy and responsive? Can I share the screen?
Sure. Mohan? Hello?
I'll say one thing, sir. Is that correct or not? I'm
No,
not
that's
sure.
why Mohan is the right person to guide on that.
Ravina, start the recording.
Started, Veena.
Yeah.
Mohan, you there?
Yeah, Mohan busy with other part. Yeah, tell me what you want.
Sir, this lazy and responsive, can you explain for one?
Yeah, lazy means you getting from to API. Sometimes you ask for static data. That time without lazy using that.
Static data in the sense?
For example, in Mahati, getting the result one time without API, one time only. For example, 100
Which means
records.
without
getting one-
pagination?
Yeah, without pagination.
All the data will be load at a time.
At a time. Lazily means when you getting one pagination.
Okay, with
Lazily loaded the based on pagination.
Jayesh, it might be like data API will call it once time, only once. With page also doesn't matter. Page also will work, but it won't call next API. So all
Okay.
data will get it once, and page nation works in local internally.
Okay.
Only call API call will happen only once.
Okay.
So
Responsive?
if you, any update data, it won't be update here. So you have to refresh again, page refresh.
Responsive?
for mobile
Response is
pins are
actually
based on our
we
teams.
never used it many times. Maybe I also didn't work on that.
Okay. Hide title, I think everyone used that option.
Yeah.
It will hide the list title.
List title. Yes, sir.
Table state.
This one I don't know, sir. It's a new thing. I think.
Not sure.
Table state mean catch filters. Once you search filters, next time when you log in that user, same search refill.
Even though if they log out and log in.
Yeah, login or go to another page and come back again page. Such similar previous.
Search will be carried out.
Yeah, carry.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Maheshwari, you can add, I think no data text you already explained.
Yes, sir. And API
Okay, pagination, I think fine. Filters, fine. Row selection, if you click on that row, it will perform that action. Default order, you can give here as well as in the API.
We already gave in the API.
Yes, styling, table styling.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Excel
So
to export.
if you want any Excel or a PDF file
Yes.
for this list grid, then we can add it here.
Okay.
Hmm.
Don't give, just
Okay.
give a very high level idea on the other options. But whatever the options we are using now, just give group by, it will
If
group based on the columns, but we are not using now. Yes,
yes,
columns.
yes. Sir. So now, so should I display order also, sir?
Yes, for now, please display order as well.
Okay. So search. If you don't want that label, then you can here mention the width. So if you want any specific
Yes.
width, can I mention here, sir?
Sort means it will enable the table sorting. Hide label means it will hide the table
All
header
the
label. Width, it will give that much width, 6% of width to order. The font color, the background color, and tooltip are the other available options for every column.
If we didn't mention any width, then it will take the auto width for each and every column. How many columns you have mentioned, it will divide equal part. If the total width will be 100, then it will divide it equally.
Even though order won't need more space, it will take more space
More space.
if it is auto. I think most of the times we'll just use width. In very rare case, we'll use hide label. And whenever client asks and UI demands, we'll use font color,
Yes.
tooltip, and other things.
So if you want to perform by clear for that column, if you want to perform any action like page redirection or another component should be open or pop up or API call should be happen. If you want to download any files, then you can use this based on the options will be provided here. So based on your
Master,
requirement.
generally when this will use this
So
on
when we
column
will,
click.
yes, a column click for this particular column only, the data.
Yes.
Hmm.
This
Like
is a
all,
column click. The action is the column click.
yes, sir.
If you click on that column, which means the data in the column, if you want to call an API, it will perform the API. If you want to open a component, it will open that component.
If you want to
Component
see,
means you need to select the component and you need to mention whatever you need it. You want to refresh it or you want to open it or like that.
so you will get it the options here. If you want to any page redirections like internally or externally based on your configuration, so you can send it. You can redirect that pages. So here we don't need anything like that.
Okay. I think for the remaining columns as well, the same options will be applied.
If you want to hide this column, then you can use here expression that hidden column condition. If you want to display any other including this order, if you want to display some other data, then you can use here display format.
Master, we can explain these things with one
Later.
sample. I think we can explain this hide column and display format with one example. Not now, in the coming sessions.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
And go top. What is
Drop down?
yes? When we need to use that?
if you have drop downs like a status, for status we have that, right, sir? Generally we don't need this one. If you select like a drop down, then here you can mention here status directly, so that that will carry like a status dot name. It will display that name directly.
Okay.
So that will be append. Yeah, so drop down append to the body, in the sense JSONs will get, generally we'll get that drop downs as a JSONs, right? So the UID and whatever the fields will be there. So in that
Generally
we
we will use that, or that is a special case.
for drop downs, any special cases like drop down radio buttons like that, sir.
Okay, we have a drop down as well, right? You
Yes,
explain
sir.
that property whenever we are using the drop down. Must complete the order and the remaining fields.
Okay, sir.
Guys, if you feel any of the property is new and if you want some more information on the property, you can ask.
Okay.
If it is the repetitive property, she will continue. If you feel you need more information on the property or on that option, you can stop, and or you can make a note and you can ask at the end as well. Well, this is for filter.
Yes, sir. Status filter drop down I gave.
If it is drop down, we need to do this additional configuration as well.
Yes, sir. If you
To
want
make the
it to
filters work.
yes, sir. If you want any column as a separately, like after to the global search, if you want that particular drop down separately here, then you can give it as a required. Then it will
Okay.
display.
We don't need that. Okay.
Okay.
Where you mention the sorting option here.
Sort here it is.
Sort will be in properties.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Filter, generally we won't do any configuration for text and number fields. For only drop downs, we need to do some additional configuration.
If you want to specifically mention as a drop down.
Not for relation. I think drop down, big list or relation is a drop down, right?
Yes, sir.
If it is a drop down, we need to do some configuration for the filters.
Drop down or radio buttons, anything it can be. If you want to give that only the whatever the fields are there, instead of giving input, if you want to select that particular value and then the search should be happening, so you can give like.
Okay.
Sometimes they will ask that give search directly, sir. So at that time we don't. So
yes.
Here,
if it is like a text field search, we don't need to do any configuration. If it is a selection based search, we need to provide the data source for the drop down and we need to configure the filter settings.
Here,
am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Here we no need to mention any group because we already taken as a right form.
Okay.
Left is the grid and right is the our creation form. So we don't need here group action.
Okay. Maheshwari, for now, what we'll do in this session was left side will have a grid and right side will have add form. First, we'll
Okay.
complete this, then we'll add row actions for edit and delete.
Okay, sir.
And where you have mentioned how many columns has to come left and how many columns has to come right, and when we need to choose them.
In the block itself, we need to mention here. sir.
When you choose that, I didn't observe that.
I think in break I choose it, sir.
Yes, I think many of the people might miss that, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I have take like a total width will be 12. So in that I have divided up to 8. It will be
Hope
the
everyone
width.
knows about this. In CSS, in Bootstrap, the entire page will be divided into 12 parts. Each and every 8 means I think almost 75%. I think
Yes, sir.
75% will be the left side portion. Sorry.
Yes, sir. 75% will be the left portion.
Yes, 25 means 3. 50 means 6. Actually, 9 means almost 75. If it is 8, it is a 70% in the left side and 30% in the right side.
So if you have like tab view and mobile view also, you need to configure. They gave options provided here.
Yes. In mobile, what will be the your grid layout? You need to choose the classes. Okay.
So this is also for the same thing.
UID, if you have any inputs, you please add on.
So if I mention here like this, then automatically there is a gap between these two blocks, or else I need to mention any classes here.
Shravani, Bhavani, or someone from UI team.
Maheshwari, please add a PL-0.
So
Please padding left 0.
okay. If it is a right block you are adding, then it should be like PL, padding left should be 0. Correct, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Because the spacing between the grid and still we didn't implemented any form. The form is more. We need to reduce that. Okay, first we'll complete the implementation, then we'll come to the design part.
Okay. So if you want to hide the entire block, then you can write the conditions here based on role or any page load conditions. So if you have any type of conditions, we can block that entire. That block can be hide. Inside of that block, whatever it will be there, it is not displayed. If you mention here.
And guys, even if you if you give the IDs for the blocks, that will be wonderful. Why? Because we won't confuse at all. Left block, right block, the parent block, like that.
So we are not opening in pop-up, so no need to enable this button. So I want that form title should not be hide. So I'm not using this option. This form should be in edit always. I'm not using for any view mode.
If you make it as a view mode, the field should be displayed as label and data value fields. If it is edit mode, it will be label and a field mode.
You can give that inputs. If you mentioned as a view means you can't give the input. You can't enter that particular text field, or you can choose any option. So for this page, this form, I don't need any prefill API because it is a left form. We don't need to create separate select API for this. Directly it can be prefilled, and if you have any conditions for the title, you can mention here. You have ID, then it should be here create category. If you have if that is in for update, then that time you can change this title as a update category based on conditions. If you want, then you can change here title, form titles, whatever you want to display based on conditions. Sorry. Sorry. Here itself, I'm just taking the group field. So why I am
Actually, when
using,
we need to take group field and when we can directly drop the fields into the forms?
so when means for here also you can directly drop, sir. If you want to design or if you want to specify that fields, sometimes for this fields, I will just drag and drop the text field and I have
I think-
mentioned like a calls. Then
I
it
think we
won't.
can get better answer from the UI team here. Shravani,
Can you repeat once?
when we need to use group field?
For grid system, sir, we are using group fields.
Yeah, sir, we are using
To
two fields.
design, sir. If it is a left form, so if you want to design any field like based on these classes or based on if you want to
No,
reduce
no.
this
Why
field,
I am asking this question was if someone is new to our Zerocode, they will drag a form and they can directly drop the fields into it.
yes, sir.
They don't know when to use the group field. Even the same thing, it happened to me as well.
Okay. So why we are using group field means if you want to adjust that fields in one row, if you want to show the 3 fields at a time, then you need to use a group field. If you don't want to design any input fields, just a single row, like if you didn't use the group field,
Yes.
it will take the total size will be take like a 12. If you even though if you mention like a 6, then it won't reduce. So it will take the full length.
Okay.
Hmm.
Hope everyone got what they have explained.
And also if you there is a one more thing. So I have added the input fields or any buttons. So based on that, if you want to like the center should be display or else left alignment, right alignments. For alignments also we can use the group fields.
Yes, which means
But
that even though if you drag and drop a group field without a row class, it won't take the grid layout. Shravani, am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
and one more thing, here sometimes it will come this names. If you didn't get means you can directly enter here. There is a input field. There is an option for this one. If you are not getting any values in the drop down, then you can use here directly name.
Team, what is my intention here was at least with the default layout and styles for the grid operation, we no need to go to the UI team for the help. At least we need to format the form and we need to give the alignments and spacing and we need to deliver the normal CUD operations. Hope everyone got what I am saying.
Yes, sir.
If it is complex design, definitely we need UI help. If it is basic things, try to get the knowledge and document somewhere, what are the classes they are using and when they are using. Implementation team who itself, we need to format. At least for the CUD operations. And at least for the basic list and form.
Okay.
Go ahead, Manish.
So if you want to hide this field, if you don't still first you created and now you don't need this field, instead of deleting that field, you can use this hidden also. Then that field will be hide. And one more option here that based on conditions, we can show or hide. If you enable this one, then there is nothing like based on conditions also it won't work. It will be hide that field. So directly hidden will be true. So if you want to hide label, then you can enable this. So the label will be hide, the value will be displayed. But so I need this field as a required, then that field will be a mandatory. So in placeholder, sorry. Sir, each and every property explanation, sir.
No, what the required properties for this form creation.
Okay, for this I don't need any display format. Is there any kind of length restrictions, sir?
For name, 255 is the max.
Minimum will be?
Anyway, it is required, right?
Yes, sir.
Minimum, you can say 3 characters are required.
Okay. So max will
Just,
be 255.
yes, this is our text field max size.
Yes. So if
Myself,
you
for now, just explain whatever the fields we required for this form.
okay, so I don't need any pattern for this form. It can include anything that's like only text should be allow, or else numbers also it can be allowed.
Label can be anything, it's an alphanumeric thing.
Text field will be often. So help
But
text and honor.
if customer or client is specific, you don't want numerics, we need to mention something here. If you don't want special characters, we need to mention something here.
So
if you don't know how to write the pattern, we'll guide you. But there is an option, we can restrict from here.
It will take a regular expressions. You can give here regular
JavaScript regular expression. Even if you come to me, I will go and search in the Google and we'll build the patterns online and we'll copy paste here.
And also for placeholders, for whole application placeholder should be saved. Check whether you are giving only first character, like a sentence of that first character only capital, then you need to follow the same way. Otherwise, if you are using like this, then you need to follow the same thing. Each and every word as a capital, then you need to follow. So based on that,
whatever the format you are following, please follow the same pattern across the application.
So here, if you keep like a minimum length and maximum length, and you can give like a please enter 3 characters, at least 3 characters.
Minimum 3 characters. It is showing at least is a no, remove the at least and okay, anything is fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Maximum. So you can specify here. If you enter any pattern, then also you need to mention. You can. Otherwise, it will give by default. By defaulting, it will be in. It will display if you didn't enter here.
Okay.
So For this name field, I don't have any event for this.
Yes, we don't have any events, but if we want, we can add some events to your field.
If we want means for code, it should be automatically generated. So for that field, we will use. So if
I think the freshers, I think they might feel this is too programming. This is not actually, if you feel this is not complete programming, but these are the events to your field, we are just trying to showcase you. We have these features. If you don't know how to implement that, we are always here to help you. At least if someone asks you to do this, first complete the remaining functionality, all the remaining stuff, whatever you don't know. If you go to your senior, they will help you in the remaining part. Why? Because they won't implement the complete part, right? At least you need to complete the remaining, the table, dataset creation, API creation, and the category, the table, in the page, design the grid, design the form, and we need to give all this, right? If you don't know all these things, you please sit with your mentor. They will show you for 1-2 grids so that you will know what are all the things you need to apply.
these are the basic properties that that won't change for anything or any kind of information. These are the properties we can
The
use
thing was,
based on our
we can develop the applications without these as well, but this is the process what we are working on real process, right? That's why we need to mention, we need to give all the validations.
if that project need to look like a proper way, then
Professional
we can,
one.
yes. This will also mandatory required. So for this,
And Maheshwari,
yes sir,
40 is the max.
yes sir.
And how can we get the auto-station for the code?
We can use the regular expression, sir, in event onload.
Okay.
I will show you.
I think everyone aware of this. I think even I see the freshers implemented the CUD operations. They have used this.
In the condition here, we can. So can I use that already existing one?
Sure. The thing was, you have that reference, but how that reference will be there for the coming generation?
Say regular expression, sir. But for that document also it is there, I think.
Where the document is?
I'm not sure, sir. I'm not sure, but whenever we will inform that time, we will also give this one, sir. This is a regular expression that we are using. We will give that also, sir.
Okay.
So, sorry. Here, based on that, here the regular expression here. This is the regular expression. It will trim that spaces or any special
Name
character.
is the field from which it has to derive. If the first field is college name, the name is college name. If it is just name, this is just a name.
So that is the value, how the value should be there. We have mentioned here, and in expression, So in expression means when this particular field should be loaded, when this expression should be, when this value should be execute, that time what we will give. First thing is dollar means instead of dollar you can use model also. Either model or dollar, anything it can be fine. So
Maheshwari, I think
yes.
model is the one if it is form, item is the one if it is grid, right?
No sir, for this
No. You are saying here it is model. I have seen in some other place item. Item is if you are in a grid, if you are working with one column, that is item, right? Item dot will write like that.
Yes, you're correct.
Yes.
For forms, we use model. For grids,
Model or dollar, as you suggested.
Yeah.
If it is grid, it is field item.
In grid for writing a display format, we use item.
Item.
Yes.
No, just to differentiate when to use model and when to use item.
Like for display formats, we can use item also, sir. Model or item in forms also. For any field, if we want to display for this also.
Actually, that's item you use for only drop down fields, not here for model. How come it is?
Sir, if a select type is connected to that particular form and
then we can use item also, sir.
We can use items.
In display formats, it will be item then.
Item,
which means,
model, or
no. If it is view part, displaying, then it is item. If it is field, then it is model. Am I right or wrong? In forms, we have fields. Then we'll use model. Even though if it is in form, if it is a display format, we need to use item. Grid is always display, right? Then
yes.
That's why we are using item.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just to clarify when to use item, when to use model. I think hope everyone got when to use item and when to use model. I think dollar and model are same. But if you use model, we need to use dot. If we are using dollar, we don't want to use dot.
Dot.
Okay.
So here the condition basically we will keep. When the name is entered, that time itself we need to call this expression. So that's why I just gave like a, if the name is there, then that time this expression will be executed. And also in creation itself, I need to use this one. So for that, $UID means if that particular form or model, if you have any UID, then that time it will work. So for this, I don't need. If you don't have any UID, then only it should work. In update, we know you should not change the code.
And I think the same thing, we can ignore the code from the update.
Yes, sir.
Even though if it is changed in the page, it won't update in the backend.
We can select. Here, the fields will be there. If you are changing, means if you mention here like a field, based on that field, the value should be low, then you need to mention here.
We need to select that field as well?
Yes, sir. We need to select.
Okay. Yeah, no one is, I think, hope everyone is noting the questions. Or I think no one is asking, right? That's why hope everyone understand or you are writing your queries. I know everyone implemented the same whatever we showcased up to now, but you know why we are using that options.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And here she is trying
State.
to display
Status as a
status as a radio,
radio
button,
button.
or we can display it as a select drop down.
Drop down also. Which one should I prefer, sir? Drop down or radio button?
I think status is 2 values, right? We can choose radio button itself. Always it will be active. If user needs, it can inactive.
Okay. So this is also required one.
How to give the default value?
Oh, I'll explain, sir.
And this will work for post and get.
If you didn't give this map also, it will work for only pick list. If you give also, no issue.
And for pick list, you don't need to post and put, both will work. But if it is data set and
Then,
that is the API defined by you, you need to give the method whatever you have given at the time of API creation.
okay. If it is a drop down, then here you will get like option select first value. If you enable that one, that whatever the API in that API, whatever the value first is there, that will be pre-filled automatically. Shall I show that one, sir?
No, not needed for now. Then
Okay.
how
Is
to
here
give
just
the default value for
radio button?
this radio?
So in events, we can write the script, sir.
Okay.
For that, can I write it?
Yes.
If UID is there, can write two ways. We can write in two ways, sir. Either field.form controls the set value. So if you are setting any default value or any value, if you want to set value for this particular field, that time you can use these form controls. Based on another field, if you are while you are changing name, that time if you need to set the status as a inactive, that time for this on change, for the name field on change we can write. If we are using on change in that another field, then that time we can write this, like you can choose this form controls that jetc dot this particular widget id.
No, we won't follow multiple things. We'll follow only one thing, but because it will be a bit confusing for everyone. What is the standard format? Give it. We'll follow only one format.
Okay, so we can use this one, sir. It will work for everything. This will work for everything.
No, madam.
Yes, sir.
If we change the form ID, then we need to change wherever the places we use this.
But if you use this means wherever you have in that field only,
yes,
you can load.
This means the field is inside this form.
Yes, sir.
This is the correct one. We'll use this. If we'll use the jetc dot the form dot. We'll use that format if we are using the field in the other forms or other widgets. Okay.
So here the thing is, in the set value, that is like a JSON. In object format, it will come. We need to set that if ID and the name as well. So
Okay.
I'm setting that if ID and name as well. Here the value is big list only, so I can set as a static active.
Okay.
If ID also capital. 1 second. So code. You have the capital itself, so you can use the same thing.
Which means it is case sensitive.
Sensitive.
Okay. Whatever the case you have there in the code of your pick list values, we need to use the same thing.
Yes. So active itself we need to define. So I have kept like in creation itself it should be active. In update whatever the value is there, it comes
It will
from
be
the
prefilled.
API. Yes. So this one is done. So now we need to keep a save.
Order.
Yeah. First field it should be.
No, last field itself.
Okay. So here I took the number.
So, there is one more way to give default value for radio purpose. And we can give the default value directly from the default value parser side, right? Here on the bottom of all change.
Here also we can give, sir.
This will be a little simpler than writing the script.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. I forgot about this, sir. Here also, this default value, it will work whenever the data, if it is a creation.
If data is undefined, it will be applied.
Applied.
Madam, the same thing you can copy and paste it here, right? Okay. Write it, no problem. Active.
And the name will be
active. Thank you, madam.
Yes, sir. This is also. So, is there any min and max? Minimum should be 1.
0.
0. Okay.
Our minimum is 1. No zeros.
Okay.
Max can be anything.
So no need for max. So do we need to hide in update or no answer?
How
Nothing
to allow
condition.
only numbers in this field?
It is a number field itself, sir. I didn't take a text field.
Okay, which means if you take number field, all
Then
the options will be automatically available. Otherwise, if you drag drop text field, these things you need to do by using patterns, right?
Yes, sir. By using pattern, you need to.
Okay, and the up down arrow will become, right, if it is a number field.
No, sir.
What do we need to do?
But for that one, we need to add, I think, Rakesh, sir. Sorry, Mahesh, sir.
Yes.
For these up and down arrows, it won't come, right, sir, for number field. For that, we need to add in parser itself the type number inside of the properties.
Enter the value. What's the one?
Not here, end user side.
End user side.
End user side, sir want this type of patterns like up arrow and down arrow it will come, right?
That we will have in builder. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, but there is an option. If someone asks, I think we have that option from the parser.
Yes, sir. From parser we can have. Okay. So here I'm using the buttons. Here the thing is, you can use another group field for that button separately, or else you can use the same group field inside of that or outside of that. Anything it can be pasted
No,
on.
if you use in the same group field, it will come in the center.
Yes, sir, but that time you will get issue if you reduce the text fields length.
Yes, that's why I'm asking.
That will get a issue. So that's why we'll prefer to use that like this generally.
Okay.
Save. So for this one, if you want icon means, then you need to specify here for save button. If you have any patterns like primary, or if you want to use any colors, then you need to mention here.
Okay. Can you mention just primary? Okay.
So if you remove this size means it will look like this one. This one.
Okay.
If you mention size means it will take that much size.
Okay.
So for this one, we need to the action should be performed like the save category save. I'm just selecting that one, and this create form. That form should be validate, and I have given here validate. If you don't want the alert box, like validation should happen, but you don't want that alert, like this type of. If you don't want means, then you can remove this. I mean, enable that one. You can remove the message.
Okay.
Then that
it won't
message.
show the alert and it will show the messages in the form.
This one will won't come. That alert box won't come. So we'll just get like a this value. Just it will be fired that. So if you want any parameters, means along with this data, whatever you have mentioned in the page or form, along with the data, if you want to send any extra parameters, then you need to use the extra params. Please don't use in params. If you use in params, whatever you have mentioned the parameters, those values only will go for the request payload when you are calling this API. Even though you have mentioned that particular form, then also that won't go. That whatever the values you have given or fields, that won't go in your request payload. If whatever you have mentioned in parameters, those only will go. If you want any parameters, then you need to mention this extra params. This is also one main thing, sir.
Okay. In params, we need to inform the self-grid params has to go.
If in the you need to call this API, but for this API you need to send a specific parameters.
That is extra parameter, right?
Like if you want add any add parameters means, then you can say.
Okay. What is params and what is extra params?
Params లో ఏదైతే ఇస్తామో అది మాత్రమే పేలోడ్ కి వెళ్తుంది సార్.
Okay.
ఈవెన్ దో మనం ఇక్కడ ఫామ్ లో అన్ని మెన్షన్ చేసినా కూడా స్టిల్ ఇట్ వోంట్ కన్సిడర్.
Okay.
So extra params.
Okay. Can you mention params? What we need to mention here?
Extra params, we as of now we don't need any.
We don't have any extra params. Do we need to mention any params in this case?
No, sir.
Okay, the parent form parameters will be automatically go, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If they mention automatic గా ఇక్కడ ఫామ్ లో ఉన్నటువన్నీ వెళ్తాయి. కానీ ఇక్కడ వీళ్ళు మెన్షన్ చేశారంటే UID. If they mention like UID need to null, then only UID null అనేది మాత్రమే వెళ్తుంది సార్. అదర్ దాన్ దట్ నథింగ్ ఇట్ విల్ గో.
రిమైనింగ్ పారామీటర్స్ వెళ్ళవు. మిగతా పారామీటర్స్ అన్ని ఇక్కడ కాన్ఫిగర్ చేస్తేనే వెళ్తాయి.
ఇక్కడ కాన్ఫిగర్ చేస్తేనే వెళ్తాయి. సో బై డిఫాల్ట్ గా వెళ్తుంది. మీకు ఎక్స్ట్రాగా UID అనేది నల్ చెయ్యాలంటే ఎక్స్ట్రా పారామీటర్స్ లో యాడ్ చేయొచ్చు.
Okay, got it. But if you add in parameters, it will send only that parameter, not all the configured parameters of the form.
Yes.
Okay.
So on success, API on success ని ఏం కాన్ఫిగర్ చేయాలి? So for this on success, I'll just refresh this grid, reset.
Okay.
ఈ ఫామ్ రీసెట్ చేస్తాను, గ్రిడ్ రీలోడ్ చేస్తాను. I just need to reload the grid.
Sorry to disturb you, Maheshwari.
Yes,
what needs to be done for this task? What you want to work on that? Just cover those things. So if you want to cover every future means it's never end process. So for some futures they has to work on, then only it we going to know. So if you want to explain each and every future means again it's like a fresh training. So what for this task what needs to be done? So which items you are going to touch? Just explain them briefly, clearly. That's enough. So don't go for each and every feature and you explain everything.
Okay. Okay. So do we need any confirmation before clicking that API, before calling that API?
No.
Why you call? While saving, why you require confirmation? No, right?
Sometimes yes.
Yeah, you just
Sometimes they
give that explanation about why you have added two success on success.
Sorry?
Why you have added two on success? Just give some explanation about that. Why you have added two on success? Explain for about each one.
One is for to reset the form and another one is for to reload the grid. After saving the data, I need to show the data in list grid, right? So if you are reload the API, then only the latest data will come. So that's why after saving the values, then I need to reset this form. Then I can enter that fresh form. It will look like a fresh form. So I can add the another data. So that's why I use it for two on success. First, I'm resetting the data in form.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Maheshwari, done. I think
Yes.
we need up to this.
Okay.
Save it. We don't need clear for now.
Okay.
Show this output in the front end. Then we'll have a small QA session at the end.
Sorry, I forgot to give access. Access only for administrators, etc.
Okay, I think we can give the access from other place as well, right? Or this is the only place?
Sorry?
This is the only place?
This is the only page, sir. Category only I'm asking.
Okay. Okay.
Even in user side, there's a roles page. We have an option to give access to the pages for each and every role. Different. Yeah, we'll see that next time.
Okay, we'll see that later.
Okay. Okay. So this button is named like position on the top. And I forget to add global filter in list grid. Sorry.
Okay. Column, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Maybe we have to make it as a default one, Jayesh. As a default column should be added. People want to remove, they can remove. Because
Yes.
every time people not remember the exact spelling or maybe case sensitive also, they might miss. We need to make this as a dynamic auto.
Also, do we need to mention the field names as well for this?
I think not required.
Not required, sir. If we need means we can mention.
Then don't mention. People will get
Okay,
confused.
Why? Because we are already mentioning the global filter fields in API, right?
Remove their field names.
Okay, sir.
Text is fine. Match any is also fine.
Okay. And search placeholder, sir.
No,
Search
keep it.
data.
Search by name.
Search, okay, name, comma code, / code.
Status.
Yes.
This field should be hidden, right, sir?
Usually for the save button, I think we haven't mentioned that center.
Megal, for now it is okay. Why? Because we are running out of time.
Okay, sir.
Yes. And the categories, sir. Any kind of categories?
IT,
IT.
accounts.
So by default status is there.
Can you select inactive? Okay, active. Okay. Done. Save.
At least should be 3.
Information technology. Accounts, queue the accounts.
Sir?
Yes.
API type. Okay. Yes, this that type of error will come if it is didn't match. Here I used put.
Why you choose a put for that?
So to if that is used for save and update portraits, so to use that one. Sir, from API error
If
is
you choose
coming
put, it will find search for a UID.
Choose post. I think that is my mistake.
Okay.
For update, we choose put.
No.
I think for save update we'll use post. For
Post.
only
Update. For only update, we
we'll
choose
use
put.
put. Okay.
People might not go for this option. Put just very less.
No need to refresh. Directly save. If it is API change, no need to refresh the page. If it is page password change, then only you need to refresh it.
Page also there, no sir. I changed it from both sides. Right?
No, that's you already refreshed. Just click on save. Okay.
Here,
refresh.
she didn't change it.
You change put to post in page?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
give the accounts one more time. This kind of unit testing you need to perform before releasing the task.
Code already exists.
Okay, operations. This, okay. So, okay. Done.
Okay, sir.
I think you can give the center class for the save. Then we'll end up the session and then we'll open QA question and answer session. Okay, Maheshwari. Thank you, Maheshwari, for supporting me to
Thank you,
do
sir.
this. Team, if you need some more clarifications or if you have any doubts, you can ask us now. Or at least, did you gain any knowledge on today's session?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Did you got any new things? Did you know at least not the freshers first will go from the seniors, then will come to you.
Yes, sir. I learned about that lazy and responsive thing, and
Okay.
I forgot that some basic fields. So now I will try to remember all these things, like default script instead of script that default values.
Okay. Others, did you learn any new things in the implementation, or do you have
Sir,
any questions, or do you think you need some more knowledge on some fields?
the session you also was used to remind me of what the difference between request and master pages, master page building. Sir. Also learned newly about the few things about cacheable and also the code for application building that it has to make sure not that it is not less than 4 characters in these things.
And also that data set data type also I learned today.
Upgradation part,
Yes, sir.
the type of the data set,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fixed or variable that will be there, right?
indexing,
Indexing.
column sizing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, provide your feedback here, or at least if you need,
Yes,
if you have
sir.
any questions, you can ask.
Yes, sir. I'm thinking about another one also we discussed.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, while adding fields in a data set, sir, there I observed two options, sir. That is validation and the relations tab. So when we will use that, sir?
No, that is not in work. That is
Oh.
not working.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I think very soon we'll implement that as well. If you mention the validation there, wherever you use the data set and that validation, if you use the data set in any of the API, that validation will be automatically performed. Currently, we are mentioning in the APIs, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, sir.
For front end, we are giving in the front end the page builder. For API, we are giving the validations in the validations tab.
Okay, sir.
Why? Because if you use the same data set in multiple places, we need to validate multiple times, right? Instead of that, we can write the validation rule once and the same thing will be carried out. That is the plan for that validations in the other tab.
Okay.
Okay, I think hope the implementation seniors gave their feedback. Yes, the new ones, now it is your turn.
Sir,
Yes, please.
if access based is given in APIs, how it will reflect? How it will show?
No, the page, I will give you a separate demo on that. I will take some small use case and I will show you how that option is working. Okay, I'm making a note of that.
Okay,
We're planning for these kind of sessions, how every option in the Zerocode is working. Okay, we'll give a demo of that. Thanks. if you have any of these kind of things, if you don't know how that works, you please write to HR or post in the common group. We'll plan a demo on that with full knowledge.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thanks, team. Thanks for your time. Hope you guys got some knowledge. So keep all these instructions and do follow when you are implementing. Without,
And Mahesh, I forgot to mention one more thing.
Yeah.
And team, we have one platform called docs.v35.zerocode.de. There we have few documents related to the knowledge related to the Zerocode. I think hope freshers not have logins to that. If you provide us your Gmail address, I will enable your logins so that you can find the knowledge related to there. Or if you know any new thing, you can post your knowledge as well.
Yes, we may wait until they get office mail IDs, I think.
Okay.
I think they have
Or at
their
least
own knowledge.
no, at least they can post and they can see the knowledge, right?
Because you are allowing the mail IDs to the access, right? That's the only concern I have. If not a worry means you can do.
Okay.
Okay, we'll think of that. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Shall we end, sir? Jayesh?
Yes, I am done.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, hello, sir.
Akhil.
Sir, while the pages create చేసేటప్పుడు కొన్ని ఎక్కల్లో మనం స్క్రిప్ట్ రాస్తాం కదా సార్ కండిషన్స్ లో ఆ స్క్రిప్ట్ అంటే మనకి డాక్యుమెంట్ లో ఇచ్చిన కండిషన్ ని బట్టి ఎలా రాయాలి సార్ అంటే నేను నాకు కొన్ని స్క్రిప్ట్ ట్రై చేశాను కానీ
we'll guide when you guide you get some the kind of task the reporting person will guide you will give support. So by doing many tasks, by experiencing, you can come to know how we can implement it actually. So it's all depends on the real-time scenarios. So don't worry,
Okay.
we will support you. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank you, sir.
Shall we end?
Yeah, Pravina.
Yeah, Mahesh. Jagdish, Mahesh, Mohan, and Shravani, thank you so much, and Maheshwari in particular, thank you so much for helping us.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
thank you, Jagdish.
రికార్డింగ్ మీరు షేర్ చేస్తారా మ్యామ్?
Ravina, stop the recording.
Yeah.